Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. What do you think XRP is going to be worth 1 year from now? Because look, here's the thing. When there are market pullbacks, people always feel like it's the end of the world. Everything's super duper scary until it's not. Because when you're talking about pullbacks as tremendous as we've seen over the last couple months, yeah, people enter into extreme fear. But at some point in the future, even if we don't know when, the market will again enter extreme greed unless you think this asset class will cease to exist. Now, I think that idea is ridiculous, which is why I also think it's silly that people are selling. But to be clear, I don't have a financial background. I'm not offering financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I just think it's fun to talk about this stuff, and I'm happy to share my everyday Joe Schmo opinions here. But in the future, my gosh, I firmly believe a couple things. Long term, as long as XRP continues to be used, yes, of course, you could fast forward a decade or two or three, XRP could be worth a crazy amount. I don't know what that would be, but substantially more than it is today. But even in the short term, we have stuff to look forward to in the short term, I suspect. Because even if you're looking at this market cycle, the top hasn't been reached yet. I'm convinced of that. I think it's very close to a 100% certainty that the top is not in yet for the crypto asset class for a number of reasons I've been outlining. I don't want to rehash them all in this video, but I've been talking about that lately. And so if you're wondering what might the price of XRP look like in the year, well, I don't make price predictions. I never have and I never will because that's just not my... it's not exactly my forte, and I just, if I were making a price prediction, it would just be disingenuous. I don't know what it's going to look like in a year, but I do have some thoughts on the topic. It really comes down to, like, when are we going to see the last leg up of this market cycle? Because look, I think that at some time inside of the next year, if I had to guess just for fun, I'm not so bold to make a prediction, but if I were forced to guess, I would say, yeah, I think more likely than not, we're going to see XRP go parabolic at some point within the next 12 months. I feel fairly confident saying that. Now, mind you, for those of you that have been listening to me since I launched this channel in December of 2018, I've pretty well never said stuff like that because most of the time, frankly, we were in a bear market. I wasn't quite sure when we were going to get out. I knew it was a multi-year situation, but here we are. Things are much better. I do believe we're still in the bull market. We're just experiencing a notable pullback over the last couple of months. We're seeing consolidation. But I still believe, yes, within the next 12 months, you're going to see XRP rocket. I don't know if that means it goes to $5 or $10 or $15 or $20. To me, it kind of depends. Actually, it depends heavily on how high Bitcoin leads the market, how much money flows into Bitcoin, how quickly can the price get bid up. And because once you see that, I think it'll give you a better idea of potentially where XRP might go, assuming XRP is going to hit its peak after Bitcoin, which I think is a reasonable suspicion. There's no way to know for sure, but it seems more likely than not because historically that's how it's behaved, and I don't see a reason to think that it's going to be any different this time. There's no indication of that. And so even if XRP gets, like, say XRP gets up to, just make up a number, just say $20. Well, if we're talking about seeing at its worst, a pullback of 90%. Well, even then, you'd see a $2 XRP at its lowest. But understand, if you're saying lowest, the lowest point, if you're talking about from top of a bull market to bottom of a bear market, the lowest price is only available for basically a split second. Because technically, XRP ran up to almost $4 last market cycle, and its bottom didn't occur until March last year, and it was because of the pandemic. Actually, if not for the pandemic, we wouldn't have seen the price that we ended up seeing, but it did get down to about 11 cents, depending on which exchange you're looking at, but it was only there for like a split second. It did not last. Those wicks got bought up pretty damn quickly right there. So even if you're talking about XRP getting back down to $2, I don't think it would stay there. I suspect that most of the time it would be range bound higher, right? Wouldn't you think? So let's say, let's just play with ideas here. That's what I'm doing. Let's say that XRP goes parabolic at the end of the year, hits its new all-time high, whatever it's going to be, early 2022, and then it starts crashing back down. Well, if it starts crashing back down, then maybe by this time next year you'd see lower. So I don't know if it'd be range bound anywhere in like the $3 to $4, $5, $6 range, but it's going to be range bound a lot higher than when it was range bound in the last market cycle because there's greater adoption of the crypto space. And so it really does depend on how high it gets, though. Like if it peaks at like $10, maybe it would be a bit less than that. But all this to say, I think the best days are yet ahead of us, and I personally plan on selling the vast majority of my XRP, if not all of it. Depends on how the price goes. But I plan on doing that this market cycle on the way up. And if I don't, if I'm not sufficiently enticed and it goes back down, okay, we go back into bear mode. Well, I'll just take that as an opportunity to accumulate. We'll do, hang out there for a few more years, and then it'll blast off again. Rinse and repeat, and that's perfectly fine by me. But either way, I'm just saying, I personally believe XRP is going to be worth this market cycle just ridiculously more than what it's worth right now, because historically this is the type of behavior that we've come to expect, and the whole market does move in tandem. I believe XRP is going to be a part of this action because it is part of the market. It's pretty simple there. And there are all indications. I keep covering them on this channel. There's every indication on the planet that that's the direction we're going to head. We just don't know how high this market will go this market cycle. That's admittedly a very strong unknown, because you have people like the blockchain backer think maybe it peaks, like Bitcoin peaks on the high end at 85,000. But then you have Credible Crypto, also very respectable, very big following as well, and he thinks it's going to go over $100,000, maybe $120,000, maybe even 150. I don't know what's going to happen. Prices can get bid up rather quick. But either way, that's why I keep saying, like, even when the bubble pops, you're going to be in a whole new level. I mean, people used to think that XRP hitting 10 cents was impossible. People used to think XRP hitting $1 was impossible. People think that it's impossible for XRP to hit $10 right now. Some do. I don't think it's impossible. I don't think that's impossible at all. I think there's plenty of money on the planet and enough activity to make something like that happen. And now, so as I record this, though, XRP is only at 59 cents. And so we got a long way to go, but that's why I was kind of starting the video with, like things always seem scary during these times until they don't, because inevitably something happens, the spark ignites, and these cryptocurrencies take off. So frequently when your typical retail speculator least expects it. But there can be signs leading up to this. And that's why I follow all sorts of different chart analysts, because it's actually helped me to be aware of, hey, something big is about to happen. Even over the last 12 months, there have been 2 big push-ups for XRP, including one leading up to mid-November of 2020. Just pretty much every analyst I follow that talks about XRP, they're like, hey guys, we haven't seen this before. That looks like it's really about to go. And then inside of a day or 2 or 3, just took off. And I was making videos leading up to this, like, guys, I've never seen this many analysts say this type of stuff. And wouldn't you know, and then that happened again when XRP started its run, which ultimately, this year, mind you, which ultimately led to XRP hitting about $2 in April. And so the analysts are saying that again. So anyway, I will not be surprised in the least if I start seeing all these analysts saying the same damn thing, and it's like, hey, this thing's about to pop. I'll be reporting it on this channel. I follow a ton of different chart analysts here. Now take a look at this from my fellow XRP YouTuber, the Blockchain Backer. He tweeted this out just a couple hours ago. In the 2017 bull run, we had a big correction in June/July. I've told that story several times. Sentiment was just like now. Euphoria, followed by it's the end of times. Many calling for way lower prices, like $700 to $1,200 for Bitcoin, which never came. And then here's the chart. You can see in your row both 2017 and 2021 July, 1.618 fib. And so here on the left, you can see it's leading up towards the end of 2018. And so we're recircled right here. If you're looking at your screen, this is a monstrous pullback summer of 2017. And now where I'm circling, this is the same type. Well, functionally the same thing. Major pullback, July 2021. And so last time, I mean, you can see what it did. Like, you know what happened historically. Price went bonkers after this. And so back then it seemed like the end of the world. Oh my gosh, we're in a bear market. It's all going to zero. Except that wasn't actually true. Look at his next tweet. He wrote, which looked scary at the time. And then in quotation marks, he wrote, bubble popped. Now, of course, he's saying that facetiously because the bubble did not pop. Not yet. It was still inflating despite this massive pullback. So again, what you're seeing on your screen now, it's another chart from Blockchain Backer, July 2017. And then he had one third tweet. And then he simply wrote, and then, And then, yeah, so there you go. So there was the pullback to 2017 July. And here's what happened afterwards. And so that was the end of the world. So it was extreme fear. And what did I say? The people that sold their crypto, they better have believed that extreme fear was going to result in the asset class going away. Otherwise, to me at least, it doesn't make sense to sell. If you think the market will never enter extreme greed ever again, fine. You do you. But that wouldn't have made sense. And look what they missed. All the people that sold and exited, look what they missed out on. And the market's going to keep doing this. There's no indication that it's done. Actually, there was a fourth one here. Actually, I think I missed this one. This is from the blockchain backer also, so we can experience this for the first time together. He wrote, and while I'm not a believer that we will see something of that magnitude again, or $100,000 plus, at least not in this cycle, I still see cases for optimism that there is another leg. Yeah, exactly. And so he's been talking about that for some time. And really, to be honest with you, all the analysts that I follow, they all think way more likely than not there is going to be another leg up. And so even if the percentage gains are less because there's more money in the space, and I've talked about that before, how the multiplier effect decreases with each market cycle because more and more money would have to flow in even just to get it to double. Despite that fact, you're still going to see a massive amount of money flow in, I personally believe, and it's going to be completely insane. People are going to be in euphoria, and just as they think that finally we're never going to exit extreme greed, it's just going to go up and up and up, the bubble will fully inflate and then pop, and it will drop. The market as a whole, I believe, will drop 80 to 90+%. That's what I personally believe is likely to happen here. Interesting stuff. Here's a tweet from DIY Investing. Lots of alts are retesting higher time frame support. It's pretty obvious the bull market isn't over. People screaming bear are the people who watch hourly time frames. Nothing wrong with that, but the macro is just as strong as ever, and they don't show the macro. Exactly. So I don't know if you really think that despite, arguably, not everybody believes this, but a lot of people do believe that these market cycles are strengthening. Even if you don't believe that, frankly, do you believe that this was the shortest bull market in history, and it's the first time that all of the altcoins didn't pop off? Like, do you really believe that's the case, or is it more likely, especially drawing on historically what has happened, looking what has happened when like I just showed you, blockchain backer highlighted it, what happened in 2017, major pullback, but then it took off. You know what I think is more likely? I've said it like 4 million times in this video. It's a coming here. So you let me know what you think in the comment section below. But I always think this type of conversation is fun food for thought, and I love hearing everybody else's perspective on this too. But yeah, so XRP, just it's funny to think like the price of XRP could be way higher 1 year from now than it is, and that could be the case even if the bubble for XRP fully inflated and popped. Even if that happened, like say that happens early next year in January, if you fast forward 1 year from right now in July, so from July to July, it could still be the case that XRP, and it kind of depends on how XRP goes this market cycle, but it could potentially be the case that XRP is worth a number of dollars like after a massive pullback. Think about that. And so that will be interesting because don't forget, XRP started last market cycle at about half a penny. And the lowest it got, and it was very brief, the lowest it got after that was 11 cents. It's just interesting, right? And so that's why I'm sitting here thinking, like, no matter what, like I am Mr. XRP bull for a reason here. I'm long XRP, very long XRP. But anyway, I will go ahead and wrap up here. I am not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.